They are the pesky part of summertime fun. From kids' camps to backyard barbecues, mosquitoes are often the unwanted guest. But this morning, the CDC is sending a warning about mosquito-transmitted malaria cases. It comes after state health officials have identified 5 locally acquired malaria cases in recent weeks, 4 in Florida, 1 in Texas, all transmitted by mosquito bites.
What was different about this is these happened domestically, meaning people didn't travel abroad and come to the U.S. and then get diagnosed with malaria.
Officials say there is no evidence the cases in the 2 states are linked. In Florida, all 4 cases were detected in Sarasota County. Now, the entire state is under a mosquito-borne illness advisory.
We're really throwing everything we have at the situation right now.
Malaria symptoms can be similar to the flu: fever, body aches and chills, as well as headaches and nausea.
Hi, I'm Scott O'Neill here in Medellin, Colombia today, and I'm at the world's biggest mosquito factory for the World Mosquito Program. We're making in here 30 million mosquitoes a week. Come and have a look.
It's going to require a lot of mosquitoes.
The mosquito life cycle starts with the egg, and in this room we've got a lot of eggs. Each one of these strips, these tiny black dots, are up to 10,000 mosquito eggs. Across all of these strips, about 1.5 million dried eggs waiting to hatch. In this tray, we've got the newly hatched eggs. They're little larvae, so small you can hardly see them. They're going to sit in here for a few days and eat and get bigger until they look like these ones over here. They're starting to turn into pupae. We're wanting to do the next step of sorting the males from the females. We want to do that so we can manipulate the sex ratio in the cages to be more female than male. The bottom ones along here are the boys, and the ones at the top are the girls. They're bigger. From here, they're going into the adult cages. We have adults that we continuously grow in what we call our brood stock. And then over here, we have the mass-produced mosquitoes getting ready to give us the eggs to go out directly into the field. It's crazy how they sound. You might wonder, what do we feed all these mosquitoes here? Well, I can tell you, we've got the good stuff in here. On the top shelf, literally, we've got the blood. They love it. Once the mosquitoes are grown, they're ready to go out into the field.
Boxes like these on the Florida Keys, a possible key to what scientists hope will slow an invasive and dangerous mosquito species. They're called Aedes aegypti and are known to carry diseases like Zika, dengue, and yellow fever, the females spreading infection with their bites.
In the Keys, they make up just about 4% of the mosquito population, but are responsible for virtually all of the mosquito-borne disease transmission to humans.
The potential solution starts at Oxitec's lab, where tiny eggs are injected with a modified DNA strain, ultimately producing mosquitoes that have what's called a self-limiting gene. Only the male offspring can survive past an early stage. The boys, unlike their female counterparts, do not bite.
They run out of females to mate with, and that's how you bring the population down.
This week, Oxitec began the process of releasing 140,000 male eggs in 6 locations along the Keys. That is part of a live experiment greenlit by the EPA. Though some environmentalists are crying foul.
Genetic engineered organisms are not something that we can control. Evolution will find its own way.
And Florida and Texas are now reporting malaria cases for the first time in decades. In the Midwest, cases of the mosquito-borne Jamestown Canyon virus are on the rise. Jamestown Canyon virus can cause severe disease, including encephalitis, which is the infection of the brain, or meningitis, which is the infection of the membranes around the brain and spinal cord.
Dengue fever is a terrible disease. Dengue comes from a virus that the Aedes aegypti mosquitoes carry, particularly in urban areas. It affects about 400 million people a year and causes over 20,000 deaths.
The soon-to-be safe and effective BioNTech malaria vaccine began clinical trials in December 2022, just in time for the great mosquito-borne virus explosion of 2023.
If there's one lesson the Wuhan virus has taught us, it's that messing with nature can prove to be fatal. Yet, in the quest for scientific advancement, humans continue to experiment with nature. Here's the latest one. In Florida, 12,000 genetically modified mosquitoes. The first such kind will be released in open air for the next 12 weeks by autumn. This number is expected to reach 20 million. 20 million genetically engineered mosquitoes. What will they do? Scientists say these artificial insects will help prevent dengue and Zika. But the residents of Florida fear a mosquito apocalypse. Here's a report.
Dengue, chikungunya and Zika. They all come from the same family of viruses. They are transmitted by the Aedes aegypti mosquitoes. This species is found both in tropical and temperate climates, invading the Americas, even Europe. Now a biotech firm has released a genetically engineered version of the Aedes aegypti in Florida. What for? To suppress the growing population of these deadly mosquitoes. Oxitec, a UK-based firm, is behind this technology. It has previously field-tested the insects in Brazil, Panama, Malaysia and the Cayman Islands. But until now, no genetically engineered mosquito has been trialed in the United States, largely due to pushback from American activists. Now, with an alarming rise of mosquito-borne diseases in Florida, local authorities have been forced to take this controversial step. Here's what the artificial mosquitoes will do. The males which don't bite will be released in the wild to mate with the female population. The female Aedes aegypti are responsible for biting prey and transmitting the disease. The genetically engineered males carry a gene that will pass to the offspring and kill female progeny in the early stages. The male offspring will not die but will become carriers of the genes and pass it to future generations. As lesser females are born, the Aedes aegypti population will dwindle. So how many bioengineered mosquitoes will be released? Around 12,000 males will exit their boxes over the next 12 weeks. And in the second half of 2021, 20 million mosquitoes will emerge over a period of 16 weeks. The mosquitoes carry a fluorescent marker gene which makes them glow, which in return makes identification and monitoring the trial easier for researchers. This step may have been taken to prevent the spread of diseases, but the residents of Florida are not too impressed. Many are worried that the mosquitoes will disrupt Florida's ecosystem. Some others fear that gene editing technology could turn haywire and turn the mosquitoes against humans. Scientists say that these mosquitoes pose no such risks. We expect the potential good to outweigh the potential bad. But this sure sounds like the beginning of a bad science fiction film. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
For vaccines and save millions of lives. If you just kind of invert that and say, no, we're trying to make money from vaccines and not trying to save lives, that's a popular conspiracy theory.
You've invested $10 billion in vaccinations over the last 2 decades, and you figured out the return on investment for that, and it kind of stunned me. Can you walk us through the math?
Over a 20-to-1 return.